Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel here. I of course am Maddie from Maddie Brain of my Instagram, YouTube, TikTok channels. I make macarons, and if you didn't know already, I started a book club this year. It's called Maddie's Baking Book Club, and every month I have a book that I have announced. I invite everyone to read it with me, and then I create a macaron inspired by something in the book. And I invite all of you to do the same thing and post, especially on Instagram, using the hashtag Maddie's Baking Book Club. The one other thing I've been doing is to have a book discussion with someone who I chose the book with, just so that it's a little bit more of a book club vibe. It gives me a good excuse to chat with my friends and family and read some good books. And it also really has been helping me to push the boundaries of what I typically think of or how I'm typically inspired by macarons. So just to review, I started in January with the book Arsenic and Adobo. This is a cozy mystery about a girl who has someone in her family's restaurant who passes away in the first chapter. It's someone she knows, and her aunt is a suspect because it's her aunt's restaurant. So they have to go about solving this mystery, and the girl gets kind of wrapped up into everything going on in all of the drama. In February, book number 2 was When Women Were Dragons. This book was a historical fiction, fantasy, very like feminist forward look at what happens when women just cannot anymore and become dragons. So this book was told from the perspective of a girl who in the beginning of the story was quite young. We followed her over the course of many years as she knew different people in her life who did or did not become dragons and kind of struggling with that process. I created some really lovely macarons. Definitely check out that tutorial if you haven't seen it already. Book number 3, in March, I read A Place at the Table. This book is a really lovely story of 2 middle school girls, really different and yet really similar backgrounds and life stories and family situations. And as these 2 girls get to know each other and they kind of fall in love with cooking, discovering themselves and kind of where they're at in life, it is a really genuinely sweet book with a lot of food inside of it. The last book I've announced already is my April book. The book is called Fable. It is about a girl named Fable. It is a fantasy adventure story about this girl who is really just struggling to get by and how she forms a plan to get out of the situation she is in and find kind of her path in life. She's very determined, and through this determination and her adventures, she goes sailing across the seas. She meets tons of different people, and things get quite adventurous. There's not a lot of food in this book, but I did pull some inspiration, created some macarons that I think you guys are really going to love, both in appearance and in taste. Now, I am so excited because I have chosen, with the help of my family and friends, the next 4 books that I'm going to announce to you today. So if you want to join in, if you want to start reading, if you want to know which books will inspire me and my macarons in the upcoming months, now you will know. Okay, so we've talked about the first 4 books through April. So the next ones we're going to talk about today are May, June, July, and August. In May, I will be reading with my friend Amber again, who you met in January. I wanted to have her read this book with me called The Little Paris Patisserie. It is by Julie Caplin, and don't be shocked, it is the number 3 technically of a series. But this is like many rom-coms. It is a standalone book. You do not have to read the first 2. I do recommend it, but you do not have to. And this series focuses on characters who are traveling all over the world. And so every single book in this series of standalone novels takes place in a different country. So it is really fun. But this book focuses on a girl who goes from England to Paris, and in her heart of hearts, she wants to be a pastry chef. There were so many similarities between me and this main character. And in this book, this girl is really exploring with fresh eyes French pastry. And because of that, it's something I really want to share with all of you because it's an experience that I've had in my life. And I want to have this conversation. Where is everyone at with their knowledge of French patisserie? When did you learn it? How did you learn it? Is this the first time? I want to start all of those conversations. So that is the book for May, Little Paris Patisserie. It is a rom-com, as I mentioned. It's pretty lighthearted. I think it's about 300 pages. It's not too long. It's a pretty easy read. Just know that it's a bit of steamy romance in there. So please read according to your both reading level and maturity level based on the content in the book. The next book, actually, I'll be reading with my mom. It is called Love and Saffron by Kim Fay, and it is a really short book. It's only about 200 pages, and it is a historical fiction book based on letters between two women and kind of their unlikely friendship that is very heavily influenced by food and kind of discovery of flavors and different things. So I'm really excited for you guys to read this book. And I think that while we have read a couple very food inspired books before, right, Arsenic and Adobo in January was really heavily influenced by Filipino cuisine. Place at the Table in March, which was really heavily influenced by Pakistani cuisine from the one family, and a bit of kind of a British influence and tea from the other family. And then Paris Patisserie, again, very pastry heavy. This one as well has a big food focus, but again is a huge shift away from any of those other kinds of foods. So I think it's going to be really fun and exciting new challenge. The next book for July, I'm so excited because I am collabing on this one with Sadie from the Happy Mac. You can give her a follow over on Instagram. She also makes amazing macarons, and she, like me, is a huge reader, and she is really into a lot of fantasy novels. She really has gotten me into a couple series. She really pushed me to read A Court of Thorns and Roses and that whole series. And so I asked if she would pick the book for July, and Sadie chose The Serpent and the Wings of Night by Carissa Broadbent. This book came out last year in 2022. I have not read it. It is a fantasy. It's a thick book. It's about 500 pages, but I think fantasy lovers are going to be okay with that. And it looks like a really exciting fantasy, paranormal romance kind of book, very vampire heavy, very like action adventure kind of novel. I'm very excited to read it. I cannot wait to talk to Sadie about it. And I'm really, really excited. This is one of those books in Maddie's Baking Book Club that is not food inspired at all. So it's really going to push the boundaries for your creativity. And I am so excited to see what everybody makes based off of this fantasy book. And then in August, the last book I'm going to announce today is called How to Sell a Haunted House by Grady Hendrix. This is like a gothic thriller, mystery, fiction novel, and this is a new genre for me. I am very, very excited, a little bit nervous, but very excited to get into this. It is a story about a woman who goes to sell her family home, and it sounds like the home doesn't want to be sold. So some family drama, some kind of paranormal activity, maybe. Lots of things are happening just from reading the back cover. I'm really excited to get into it. You might have already guessed that my sister-in-law, Caitlin, who chose When Women Were Dragons, is going to be reading this book with me. She gave me this idea for the book, and I can't wait to read it and then have a discussion with her what she thinks, what is going on here. So the next couple of books in Maddie's Baking Book Club, huge variation in genre and topics, and I'm hoping, even if you don't want to participate every month, that among these 4 books, right, we have Little Paris Patisserie, we're starting off with a rom-com, then Love and Saffron, we have more of a historical fiction, genuine friendship connection, and then the Serpent and the Wings of Night, getting into some darker fantasy romance, and then How to Sell a Haunted House, gothic thriller mystery. There's a little bit of something for everyone, I am pretty sure. Again, please read according to your comfort level, your reading level, your maturity level. Make the decision that is right for you. Participate as you want, as you can, as you feel comfortable. Before I go here today, I did just want to remind you how to participate if you haven't already, or if you did watch my first introduction but you're still feeling a bit confused. That's okay, I have got you. First of all, and most importantly, everyone is welcome. Every single person is welcome to join in and participate however they want, however they feel comfortable, as much or as little as they want. The next important thing is there is no sign up. I do not want this to be a stressful book club. I never want you to feel like you have to once you've said you would, or to feel like you need to because you did the month before, or anything like that. This is a come as you are, when you can, when you want to, sort of space here on the internet. So what you need to do is read the book. But when I say read the book, obviously, I think it would be great if you read the entire book. Realistically, I know that not everyone reads as much as I do, or has as much time to read as I do. Also, if you start reading it and you hate it, that's also okay. You can stop. There's no pressure. So I think ideally what you would do is read the entire book, then take something from the book, a character, a passage, the cover, something artistic design, whatever it is, a food that is eaten in the book, whatever it is, and then create something. Obviously, I'm making macarons. That's kind of my thing. But if you want it to be something else in pastry, a cake, a dessert, cookies, whatever it is, also fantastic. If you want it to be savory food, also fantastic. If you want it to be nothing edible, but something else, also fantastic. It can be a drawing. The drawing can be stick figures. This is a no judgment zone. It can be something you've knitted. It can be something that you have paper mache together. It can be clay. It doesn't matter. The idea here is to be inspired creatively by something you've read, and it's not something that's maybe stereotypically like, I read this, so I did this, right? You kind of want to push the boundaries. At least that's what I want to do. Then on the last Sunday of every month, I will be posting here on YouTube my full recipe tutorial for what I make, followed by a book discussion. If you want to see what that looks like, I already have some of the first ones published. January, February, March. The April one will be coming soon. And of course, the other months to follow. So you can already get some ideas. What have I done? What have other people done? You can see what everyone else has been creating by following the hashtag Maddie's Baking Book Club on Instagram. When you post, if you want to share your creation, make sure to use the hashtag Maddie's Baking Book Club so that other people can see what you've done as well. And to make sure that I see it, give me a tag so that I can see your creation and I can share it to my stories as well to get you a wider audience. If you are feeling stuck about what to create, if you have any other questions, you can always send me a message or leave me a comment down below. I will do my very best to get back to you. And also, if you do want to participate, but you don't have time to post or you run out of time to read for my posting day, my official posting day, well, I will be posting the last Sunday of every month for that specific book. As long as you are reading the books that I have announced, It doesn't matter. If you want to read Arsenic and Adobo now and post about it 3 weeks from now, that is fine. Whether it's the January book or not, I don't care. You post on your schedule when you feel comfortable. Just use the hashtag Maddie's Baking Book Club, give me a tag, and I will do my best to check out and also share your creations, no matter what order it is in. Again, I know not everyone reads as much as I do or has the time to turn whatever they've read into a creation on this exact schedule, and it's okay if you don't follow it exactly. There's no pressure there. I hope you are as excited about these next books as I am. Honestly, I cannot wait to dig into these next books, especially to push the boundaries of what I usually grab for myself to read, and I can't wait to talk to some really cool people about what I read in these next books. Again, if you have any questions, send me a comment down below or a message on Instagram. You can find me at Maddie Brame. You can also find me on TikTok. I don't post very regularly, but you can find me there at Macarons by Maddie. All right, until next time, I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye!